Hey, welcome to tonight's X39 Zoom. My name is Danny McDaniel, and I'm your host for tonight's Zoom. I'm joining you from Southlake, Texas in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And just a smidgen about me. I'm a third-generation high school football coach, church planner, pastor, business leader. My wife and I have been in direct sales for 28 years, along with doing missionary work and pastoral work, because that's kind of a combination of what we do. And we're extremely passionate about LifeWave, what you're going to hear about tonight. And just a little bit of background too that's going to help you is not only in my coaching background, I also raised three sons that were Division I college football players that were all tailbacks, and one professional running back, and one that's currently actually trying out and in the process of being on the U.S. Olympic bobsled team. He's not on the team yet, just in that process. So I'm saying that because our life over the last 28 years raising kids, or 30 years raising kids, has been about sports nutrition, health, wellness. My wife and I have grown in a huge business in the wellness sector, in health and wellness, and in sports nutrition and wellness for the body. As well as we have scoured North America over the last couple of decades, consistently looking for recovery devices, anything regarding recuperation for an athlete and recovery for an athlete to get them back on the field, which is all pertinent to tonight, because tonight is about health and wellness. Tonight is about recovering, restoring, and rejuvenating. And so this is not my first rodeo. And so very quickly, 31 months ago, not 31 months ago, 2.5 years ago, I got on the X39 patch because a friend introduced it to me. And what he didn't know is I needed it really bad. I had a frozen shoulder and a partially torn rotator cuff. And I ordered these patches because I was desperate for something to change, because my orthopedic said there wasn't really an answer for me, and it was going to stay locked up for another 15, 16 months. And I got on these patches, and in 6 days, my shoulder started unlocking. Discomfort started leaving my shoulder. Over the next 5 months, my shoulder completely healed itself. Now, the patch did not heal me. This little phototherapy patch did not heal me. The X39 patch. My body healed itself. In addition to it, I had floaters in my eye that went away. My hair started turning brown again. Wrinkles started going away. I wasn't researching LifeWave. I wasn't on a Zoom. I didn't hear a phone call. I was just getting these miraculous results. In 8 months, I didn't need glasses to drive anymore, or to watch college football games at the stadium, or for night glare. At the 12.5-month mark, I didn't need glasses to read anymore. And I've had 20/20 vision for over 1.5 years now. And it's just been, and there's been so many more benefits besides that. But that's where I'm going to leave that tonight, because you're going to hear from some incredible doctors tonight, talk to you about the X39 patch and what it can do for your life. And so in starting, which I've already started, but I'm going to show you just a couple of slides before we bring on our first medical professional. And so I must say this. It's important for you to know that product testimonials are a direct reflection of someone's personal story, and they may not be typical for all people. We don't treat or cure chronic diseases or sicknesses. LifeWave phototherapy patches do not heal or cure people. And so God designed the body to heal itself, given the right conditions for the body to function at its optimal level. You must consult your, healthcare professional or doctor for advice regarding treatments for sickness or disease. One thing I can tell you, though, is tonight's call is about phototherapy. Okay, this is a phototherapy device. I want you to know that there's over 5,000 independent double-blind clinical studies that are out there that exist that validate the positive effects of phototherapy on the human body. Not to mention the 80+ clinical studies that LifeWave has on the LifeWave phototherapy patches, which you're going to hear about tonight. And so we're going to address a problem, and then I'm going to bring the doctors on for the solution. The problem is this, our health problem. Here's the root of the problem, okay? The root of the problem that we have in life is this. By the time you're 30 years old, half of your stem cells have already gone dormant. By the time you're 60 years old, almost 90% of your stem cells have already gone dormant. Well, there's a problem there. That's called aging, the aging process, and sometimes slowing down the ability to recover, rejuvenate, restore, heal, and those various things. And so question is, what if? What if there's something out there for the first time on the planet Earth, really, that's non-invasive, non-transdermal, no contraindications, not a supplement, not a drug, something that you could place on your body that actually was the solution for this problem. That's what we're about to introduce to you. And it was invented by a man named David Schmidt. We're not going to dwell on him tonight because it wouldn't make sense to you. He's a brilliant scientist with over 200 patents, and they're still growing. He's got over 70 global patents on this particular patch, and the amazing amount of research behind this patch validates what it does, along with the thousands upon thousands of anecdotal stories. And so we could send you information. The person who got you on the Zoom tonight can send you all kinds of science, all kinds of research, videos, patents, case studies, testimonial videos, the whole 9 yards on a one-page landing page that is going to help you validate that. But you know what? Even better than that, we've got 3 medical professionals on the Zoom tonight. They're going to share with you about the X39 and the power of it. And the first one is a friend of mine named Dr. Leland Stillman, who is an integrative health specialist, functional medicine doctor, and he's actually an expert in the area of photobiomodulation. And he was an expert in this area before he ever heard about the LifeWave X39 patches. And so that's going to mean something to you. So Dr. Stillman, tell me you're there.
Hello, everyone. Great to be here. Danny, thank you for having me. Good to see you.
All yours. Good to see you. Hey, it's all yours. Tell us your story. Tell us what the X39 patch is all about and what it does and what its function is.
Yeah, so the X39 patch is a light therapy patch that increases levels of something called GHKCU, which is a peptide that makes your cells behave like they're younger. The X39 patch reflects infrared light that's modulated back into the body in order to trigger and increase the production of this peptide. We've been using it in my practice for over 2 years now. We have some pretty amazing, profound stories. My favorite is my mother's. She's 81 years young this year, and she was on the patches for several months. She said, "Hey, I got to clean up the credit card statement. I'm not sure what these are doing for me. I'm going to stop them." I said, "Mom, that's fine. Just stop them for a week. Let me know what happens." She said after a week, she was having terrible depression and pain. She put the patches back on, and those problems just disappeared in a matter of, I don't know if it was hours or minutes, but it was fast enough that she was blown away. So suffice to say, she's been patching ever since, and that was about 8 months ago now. She then got curious about the other patches, and she tried the sleep patch. That gave her pretty amazing results. She got an 80% improvement in her sleep immediately. And so, yeah, we patch every patient in the practice because of the results we get with them. And we love the patches. We recommend them strongly.
So it took a while. It took a while for you to actually jump on the X39 bandwagon, is what I've heard. That someone
Renita Brannon asked me for 3 months, and she asked me no less than 19 times. I had one false start where I said I'm going to jump in, and then I didn't. And she kept her cool and was gracious and thoughtful, but persistent. And here we are.
Didn't she even challenge you on your professionalism?
I don't remember that. I don't recall that.
Well, I've heard, so you can validate this because I don't know. So we're just talking here, but
yeah,
I've heard something to the fact that, you're a photobiomodulation expert. So that's someone who is an expert in phototherapy.
Yeah.
And she's trying to get you to take a look at these patches, and you don't really want to take a look at them. And she's saying, well, if you really are who you say you are, or if you really believe what you say you believe, you'll look at this. Is that somewhat correct? Or
I don't know if it came across that way. I think it was always, I'm really excited about this, and I think you'll be really excited about it once you try it and look at it. And it's just really hard to get my attention because we get a lot of people asking us to look at their product. There's a lot of bad product out there. I mean, a lot of bad product. Supplements, medications, medical devices, light therapy devices. This is one of the good ones.
okay, so why do you say it's one of the good ones?
I practice medicine all day, every day. I got over almost 200 patients now. And we track all of our outcomes, which means that if you become a patient in the practice, you'll have an exit call. So I know exactly how well everybody does. It's very different from most practices you're used to, where it's like you can just book a consult. You can't just book a consult. You have one call to maybe join the practice, and you have a second call to maybe join the practice, and then you get an appointment with me. which might sound crazy, but we just really want to have an incredibly high quality of experience. And also, I really wanted this feedback because if you're not getting feedback, you have no idea how to get better. And that's as true in network marketing or direct sales as it is in medicine. And so I learned that if you don't have your patients telling you what worked and what didn't work, then you're never going to know what works. And you're just going to be selling stuff that doesn't work and you're never going to find out. So we just had rave reviews from the patches, stuff I wouldn't have believed possible, like scars disappearing or, like my mom's case, just this crazy pain and depression that disappeared on the patches. She didn't even realize it. She didn't know what was doing it. The patches were.
Yeah.
So
Well, let's say this. Let's pretend there's people on the call tonight that really don't even know what phototherapy is. This is a phototherapy patch. So take them from square one, what this LifeWave patch, this X39 stem cell activation patch, actually what it is and what it does.
So when you peel the adhesive off, you uncover this organic layer. It's made of natural stuff. I don't know exactly what, but it's natural. You can look it up if you want. And you put it on the body, and infrared light's emitted by your body. You make infrared light all the time. It's why, if you've ever seen like a video of night vision goggles, like what people see through night vision, they see people like they light up on the screen. That's because they emit infrared light. So you're emitting this light all the time. You emit that light, it hits the patch, it gets reflected back into the body after being modulated by the patch. And that then triggers the production of this peptide and the turning on of these healing rest rejuvenation pathways. So
what makes the X39 superior to other phototherapy that's available in our world today?
I just have not seen any of the other devices do what this device can do as fast as this device can do it, or at all. So, I've got tons of these devices, and I've used tons of these devices, and I've had patients who've used tons of these devices. And, I'll tell you a quick story. So Kathleen Horstmeyer, who helps me run the team, and she's my top leader, she had this 14 centimeter long scar at the bottom of her abdomen where she got kicked by a horse with both hind legs. And she after 2 weeks on the patches, that scar was gone. She'd already tried light therapy panels. She tried light therapy this, light therapy that. She tried castor oil packs and massage and these tools to try and break up the scar and all kinds of stuff. It didn't work. And she tried the patches for 2 weeks and it was gone.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like just like you were saying with what age spots falling off of you, right?
Yeah, I've had a mole fall off of me and age spots leave. Yes.
Yeah. So
yeah, I'm getting younger.
good.
Okay.
Keep it up.
Hey, we're gonna let you get back to your family because I know it's family night for you. Thanks for sacrificing a few minutes of your time to be with us. We really appreciate you, Dr. Leland Stillman.
Great to see you all. Be well.
You bet. Well, hey guys, we're going to move on now to our next guest. And our next guest is from Scottsdale, Arizona. And his name is Dr. Lawrence Presant, who is a prominent vascular surgeon. I could say other things about him that are really like wow effect, because he's a wow effect guy. He's a very prominent vascular surgeon in Scottsdale, Arizona. So Dr. Presant, hey, tell us what you see with X39, what it's done for you, and just anything you want to tell these guys tonight to start out.
Well, good evening. It's a pleasure to join you all. The X39 patch was actually presented to us by Steve and Gina Merritt, and we have known them for about 30 years. And he made several calls before I really kind of started listening to him. And I said, well, I'll do some research first because I'm not really sure about this. And I had used phototherapy in my practice for decades. We had red lasers and we were using it to fight inflammation and help patients recover. But I didn't really draw the link between the X39 patch and these other light-based therapies that we were using. And once I delved into the research, I started sending Steve all these articles I found. And he called up and told my wife, thank you, Larry, for sending me the articles, but they're all on our website. He could have seen them there. So anyways, I said, I'll try it for a few weeks and see what happens. I was open to it, and I'm glad we did. I'm glad they called us, and I'm really glad we stuck with it. What we didn't know is this. My wife had been suffering from some severe inflammatory bowel disease for decades, and it really affects your lifestyle tremendously. And she was getting colonoscopies every few years to monitor it and biopsies, and it always showed severe inflammation. And she was put eventually on some medication that was $2,100 a month, and it did absolutely nothing. And we were traveling out of state, and we got a call after one of her colonoscopies. And the doctor said, "Get your husband on the phone." And he gave us the news. He said, "Your colon was so inflamed, I could not pass the colonoscope into the small intestine. The valve was just totally swollen, inflamed. So I took blind biopsies. And luckily, he did because they found that the inflammation was so severe, some cancer cells were forming. So she had to come home and have surgery. And she did really, really well after the surgery. And this was during COVID. Well, about 2.5 years ago is when we started using the X39 patch. And every 6 months, Leslie was getting a colonoscopy. And on her fourth colonoscopy, the doctor came into recovery and he says, "What are you doing?" She says, "What do you mean?" He says, "I've been a doctor doing this 32 years. I trained at Harvard and Tufts. I've never seen anything like this. Your colon looks like you never had this condition." And I took biopsies. I'll call you in a couple of days. He called back and he said, "Biopsies showed normal colon." And this has happened sequentially for several colonoscopies since then. And she had one a couple weeks back, and he came in and he said, "What's that Z thing you're using?" She said, "It's not a Z, it's an X39." And he had cut her medicine down about 75%. So it's just kind of a homeopathic dose. He said, "Just go ahead and stay on it, but I'm going to check into this X39." So we feel really, really fortunate that she achieved this healing. And I mean, as a dude X39, I don't know. I think it just helped her body realize what it had to do to heal itself. So we feel very, very blessed that that occurred and that Steve and Gina got a hold of us, let me tell you, because I've been a surgeon for 40 years and you just don't see things like this happen.
Yeah.
This is just really miraculous.
That's great.
Yeah.
Tell me
So,
that. Oh, go ahead.
well, you know, as far as the patch goes, I think it's an ingenious invention. And even though there's been decades of light-based therapy research done, Dr. Michael Hamblin at Harvard had decades of research on this. But what the genius of David Schmidt was in shrinking this down to a wearable, portable device that's affordable and anybody can use it. So it's accessible to a whole lot of people. And I think really that's the key.
Yeah. And it's patented.
It's patented, so no one else has it. It's not a Me Too product. No one else is going to have it for a long, long time. So it's unique, and LifeWave is the only one that has this. So I think it's just a tremendous opportunity to share with people. I use it in my practice to help increase copper peptide and collagen levels to strengthen the walls of blood vessels for patients. So it's actually age reversing in that sense. And people who are prone to getting heart attacks and strokes, I think it's buying them extra time. I
Yeah.
mean, it just makes sense. And we can see patients with spider veins, their spider veins become less visible over 6 or 7 months because they're putting more collagen in that vein wall and making it thicker and more opaque. So these benefits are readily visible.
Yeah.
So it's just
And
tremendous.
and that's also based on clinical studies, I might add. Isn't that correct?
Yeah. Yeah. So the positive effects of this, I think, are better than any prescription medicine, that I've seen. And uh, as far as just to talk again, it's just how special this conversion to the little patches. I remember when I was about 11 years old and I got a transistor radio and the thing fit in the palm of your hand. And before that, radios were the size of shoe boxes and you had to plug them into the wall and they had vacuum tubes that glowed orange. They weren't very portable. And you could take this thing anywhere you wanted to and listen to music. And it was a kind of a technological advancement, very similar to the shrinking down of phototherapy technology into this patch. So I think it's just ingenious, and I look forward to other things coming down the pike from LifeWave. I know David's committed to age reversal, and I think it's just a really exciting time.
Yeah,
See
most
some
definitely.
things coming along.
I want you to answer this question for me. What would you say, when someone says like there's not enough research here, that they've done some self-proclaimed research and they go, there, you don't have enough research. These studies aren't valid, or this comments like that. What would you have to say?
Well, I hear it from a lot of people, where are the double blind, triple blind, quadruple blind studies? And you can't really treat this like a drug. Okay, this is just a total different type of technology. It's a wellness technology. And I think really the key with this is the fact that it's upregulating about a third of your genes. And everyone's genes are different. So it's unpredictable what the effects are going to be. But the testimonies and the positive effects that everyone has been seeing from this are tremendous. And you can go and you can see some of the PubMed studies. You can see the study they did on strength conditioning, weightlifting, and all the other studies that they did. So it's available if you really want to dig.
Yeah, absolutely. And really there's this, you said it's unpredictable what it's really going to do. And I understand what you're saying with that. If I'm interpreting that correctly, it's because there's so much that happens, so much that it does do. I mean, from your head to your toes, it's just unreal what's unpredictable about what it's going to do. Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah. Well, we have thousands of genes. They all encode for different proteins. They all combine together and signal each other in different ways. Uh, People's lifestyles, diets, exercise are different. Their heredity is different. So that variability almost makes it very difficult to do the certain detailed studies because there's so many variables. So again, I look at some of the testimonials, things that we didn't even expect. I recommended it to someone to help with their spider veins, and they call me up and say, I can look at the ceiling now. I had such bad arthritis. I couldn't look at the ceiling for 15 years. I couldn't help my daughter paint the nursery, and now it's a miracle.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing some of the things we're seeing. And I've had more people call me up and bless me in the last 2 years that I've shared this with than in 40 years of medicine and surgery.
Wow. That's huge.
Yeah,
That's
it's
absolutely huge.
gratifying.
Yeah, it totally is. And that's why it's hard for us it's hard for us not to share this with people.
Absolutely.
Which is why we're all on this Zoom tonight. Guys, all of us are on this Zoom tonight because of our conviction about not how can we not share this with people? That's where we're all at. And so hopefully you're capturing some of that tonight. Dr. Presant, were you going to say something?
No, I was just going to add this to say, I think it would be selfish to keep it to yourself.
Exactly. Okay. Well, Dr. Presant, thanks for joining us. You're awesome.
Thank you.
We got one more doctor we got to bring up, and she's a home run. This gal is Dr. Susie Warden, a chiropractor from Chicago, the Chicago area of Illinois, and she's just changing lives right and left. So Dr. Susie, jump on here and just tell us something.
Hey, Danny, thank you so much. Well, he kind of set it up for me, because I treat people that can't look up all day long for the last 28 years. So all I had for the last 28 years was all the modalities that we use, including the red light therapy, including the different neuromuscular stimulations, including these technologies and these rehab tools that we have. And it's great because when they're in my office, they do their thing, they get all the modalities, they leave, and what happens? You know, I try to tell them, use their posture, use this, do that, but the therapies wear off. You know, you get the red light therapy. It's amazing. It does all these great things, but unless you use it all day, maybe 2 or 3 times a day, you lose that time that you're not getting that. So that was like such a big thing to me. But when my friend showed me this, I saw all the testimonies and I said, this looks hokey. Like, why haven't I heard this? I've been around, I've been in this field of helping people. Why haven't I heard about this? Well, and when I told her it sounded like a little placebo ick, she said, well, they don't patent placebos. So that was my first clue that I need to look at the research and the studies and the patents. So she gave me right away, she sent me the entire studies, the patents, the research, and I checked it out. You know, and I thought, well, if that's true, and all these people are having these testimonies, who wouldn't? That's what I was just like, why not? So I asked her a couple things. Will it help this patient? Well, yes, it'll help everyone with anything. Just give it time. And I'm like, okay, that's a bold statement, but let's roll. So I started using it myself, and I'm at the point where, you know, sleep hasn't been great. I work out, but, you know, going through that whole perimenopause, menopause thing, it's not easy. It's not for the faint. So I wanted this year to be my year where I really built, you know, toned my muscles and got in better shape. I've always been decent, but not great. So I started lifting a little bit more. But when I started on the patches, my sleep was amazing. I didn't know if I moved for nights at a time. It was crazy. And I needed that. I needed to have better rest. So that was huge. My knee problems, I just had stiffness, and it wasn't like it was all day long. Just after I sat for a while, I'd have to, like, you know, mobilize it a little bit. But I've been doing this career for 28 years. And so I am not a sitter. So I'm in decent shape, but I needed some work. So I found great results with that. I found great results with the toning and de-inflammation of my body. So I thought, well, if it only does those 3 things, I am going to talk to everybody about it. So I did. I said, hey, I have this phototherapy patch. Have you seen it? It stimulates copper peptides. It's helped your body reverse the aging process. And 9 out of 10 people had no idea. So I have a lot of patients that are using these patches for various reasons. One of my stories is I have an 82-year-old gentleman, and I put it on our Facebook page, and he was in heart failure for 12 years. He put the patch on because his shoulder was hurting from weightlifting. He's a weightlifter. And the side effect was he went to his cardiologist about 2 months after he started with the patches, and the cardiologist stopped. She looked at him and said, what are you doing? And he's like, I don't know. She said, your heart looks normal and your ejection fraction is up 18%. And at that point, he didn't know it was the patches, but later he called me. I said, yes, it's the patches. That's amazing. So it's documented. I have patients that have had knee braces, teachers that have, you know, not been able to walk up and down the stairs and down the halls. No more knee braces, no more eyeglasses, no more breathing issues. So I have a lot of patients that are seeing the results, and I think it's absolutely amazing just to keep something on your skin. It's so easy, and it gives you those results like sometimes within the first, you know, couple months. I tell people 90 days, we'll talk about it then, because, you know, how long has it taken us to have this type of injury, or, you know, this type of dysfunction that's in our body. So I just use it with everybody. I introduce it to everybody, and I just think it's the greatest thing ever.
Well, I love that. I'm on fire now. And, you know, because I've seen stories like that for 2.5 years now, and it's blowing me away, but it never gets old. But I'm glad you mentioned the 90-day thing. Stress upon people why they want to wear this patch for a minimum of 90 days and at least 1 month for every decade they've been alive.
Well, when you look at the research, they say that within 24 hours, it starts to reset about 4,000 genes, which, like, what else does that? You can take supplements, you can take this and that, but those supplements only do certain things. This resets genes in 24 hours. It starts. So within 6 weeks, the collagen starts, your brain starts to clear. Within 2 to 3 months, that's when the internal body changes. So a lot of people may not see the change right away. Some people feel it in 24 hours. Some people, it takes them a little while. So I try to under promise and over deliver. I always say you have to at least give it 90 days. How old are you? Oh, you're 50. How long do you think it took you to get this way? Because our body does not tell us symptoms until way after. It only processes a certain amount of consciousness in our thoughts every second of every day. So by the time something like pain or discomfort or symptoms comes to your consciousness, it's been there for so long. So I tell people at least 90 days. And like David Schmidt says, how about a month for every decade old you are? I mean, and that's how long are you going to do exercise? How long are you going to drink water and eat your fruits and vegetables and your protein? How long are you going to, work out? Like, is that going to start after or stop after you start feeling better? No, you're going to do that. You're going to brush your teeth. You're going to do your diet, your nutrition. You're going to do that every day for the rest of your life. This is your foundation. And people will start to understand that this is part of your daily routine. You put your patch on. Who knows what it's doing? Like the doc said before, it's doing so many things inside. How can you not think about this for the rest of your life? But it's up to people.
Yeah, exactly. We all get to make adult choices. And I'm glad you said it's up to people, because you're setting me up now. And that wasn't staged. It just is happening. It's happening naturally. So Dr. Susie, thank you. Thank you so much for your contribution tonight. I know everybody got a lot out of all three of you. And because of that, it's up to each individual person. I want to take you guys into this realm because you're all adults, you get to make adult choices. It's important that you know that, all three of these doctors actually work this as a business. They don't just share it in their practice. They build a LifeWave business as a result, because we live in a country where people, because of the economic times that we have been living in, people are building extra financial buckets and having extra financial streams. And why not an extra financial stream where you can actually be a part of a company that's a 20-year-old company, but really a new company within an older company, because the patch has been out since 2020, the X39 patch. LifeWave has had phototherapy patches out for 20 years, but this particular patch, the X39, caused the company to erupt like a volcano. The company went from a $20 million company in revenue 4 years ago in 2020, or actually 5 years ago now, to over 600 million to date, and still exploding. So we're open in over 80 countries. We don't have a Me Too product. We're in a blue ocean. And here's what that means. The nutrition industry, which I love, and I love supplements because my wife and I built an incredible, really incredible, we built a sales and marketing organization that produced over $2 billion worth of sales in 20 years in the nutritional sector. So we value nutrition. But today, the nutrition sector is bloody waters, because you can get great nutrition off Amazon, great nutrition from your friend here, your friend there, everywhere, because the competition is bloody. It's everywhere. Do I want to build a business in nutrition today? Not from scratch. No, sir. No, ma'am. That's bloody waters. All the sharks are there, and everybody's competing for market share dollars that are limited. The blue ocean means that you have no competition. You're the only boat out in the deep blue sea, and everybody wants what you have. That's the X39. We don't have competition. And so if you're looking from a strategic mindset as an adult with a business mind, you would want to look at it, or look at LifeWave as, okay, if they're in a blue ocean, if they have a product that no one else has, they have little or no competition, and they're exploding in the marketplace, they're performing, at the rate of growing by over 3,000% since 2018, then something's going on here. And I may be able to capture market share dollars too by sharing this with my friends and family and others, because if they're all saying, how can you not share this with people? Over time, you're going to get that conviction, whether you get that conviction on day 1 or day 5 or day 6 or week 6 or day 90, Or for me, 8 months. My wife and I were on this patch for 8 months before we got the conviction to build a business with LifeWave. So wherever you are tonight is okay. We just want you to know about what's going on. We don't want to hide anything from you. It's all there. If you just want to get on the patch, hey, get on the patch. It's going to change your life. So whoever got you on the Zoom is going to treat you with dignity and honor and respect as a customer. Hey, that's great. But if you're looking at wise business decisions, you're staring at something really great. We're the fastest growing direct sales company in the world. For the last 2 years, we've won an award called the Bravo Award for the #1 growth company in the world of direct selling. So if you're going to look for a business, I want you to go down this checklist, because this is 28 years of my experience talking. If I'm going to look for the right business where I can capture market share dollars and help others do the same, I want to know who's at the top. We told you a little bit about that, but you're going to find out even more if you're looking at this and really dive in. Do they have a highly consumable product? Absolutely. It's like oil, and it's just gushing out of the ground because everybody wants it, and it's changing lives forever. A company that's solid in performance, check. Little to no competition in the marketplace, check. A proven duplicable system, check. Just like a franchise. Effective marketing tools, check. Valuable team support and training modules, free, I might add, check. A strong leadership culture, check. You want to know about the culture. This is not some weird, wacky culture. It's not a flashy culture. This is a leadership-driven culture. So the environment is right what you would be looking for if you're looking for integrity, values, and character. A minimal startup cost, check. I'm about to show you. A lucrative pay plan, check. It's all there. Potential to have an international business, amazing. Cutting edge innovation for the future, we don't even have time to go there. It would blow your mind. And if the more you dive into LifeWave, the more you're going to find out about that. Okay, so I just got a couple more slides. I just want to show you, if you like what you see, you can become a customer. It's $150 for sleeves, a sleeve of X39. We don't recommend that because, just like Dr. Susie said, we recommend that you get on the patch at least 90 days minimum. So you can become a wholesale customer or preferred customer and get a monthly subscription for $99.95 and get it at our price and get it wholesale. And it's a one-click cancel system. So that's easy to do. So most people, if they're going to be a customer, choose the preferred customer route to get a $50 discount. And then there's the brand partner. And that's someone just like all of us tonight who are on the Zoom. They want to share it with our friends and family because it's worth sharing. And if you like that idea, just know you can get back with the person who got you on here. They can tell you about the 3 different enrollment kits that are available for you. They're super simple. And it's either 3 sleeve. You can start with the equivalent of 3 sleeves of X39. That's a month supply. 1 sleeve is a month supply. So 3 sleeves is 3 months, or 6 sleeves, or 20 sleeves. And so that's a $295 value, $535 value, $1,750 value. And that brings, each time it brings the price down of the sleeves, even down to $87.50 each at premium. And you can get your business up and running. Guys, there's not I would challenge you to find any other business startup in America and tell me you can find a business startup for less than $1,750 or for less than $1,800 or for less than $300 and really do incredible things with, because the kind of incomes that are possible here are really substantial because there's an amazing pay structure. LifeWave pays 60 cents on the dollar for all of its revenue. For example, when LifeWave hit the $600 million mark for the year, that means that $360 million, or 60% of that, gets paid back to the distributors, back to the brand partners like you and me, the ones that are sharing the product. Those statistics far surpass and beat any statistics you can find in corporate America, companies around America, franchises, other businesses. Look at normal businesses all the way down your city streets, Main Street, downtown, wherever you are, USA or across the world. Go to any company and ask them if they're paying 60% of their revenue back to the employees and back to the workers. And they're going to go, what are you talking about, 60%? Wait, that's crazy. No, that's what happens here. So because of that, that's lucrative market share dollars. What's your potential here? Let me tell you what your potential is, because I can't guarantee you a dime, but what I can guarantee you is this. I can guarantee you that people are earning anywhere from $1 a month all the way in the USA, to in excess of $400,000 a month. Okay. Does that mean you're going to earn $400,000 a month? Absolutely not. Am I promising you that? No. But is it possible? Yes, because someone did it. Just like in the world of track and field, someone just ran like a 9.77 100-meter dash this weekend. Well, why did they do that? Because they've seen others do that. And in the, you know, the 19-year-old or 20-year-old kid realized, well, I can do it too. And so when you start believing it and you take action on it, you run a 9.77 100 meters. That's what happens in life. So that's available. But what if you're just looking for an extra 1,000 a month? Well, it's possible because someone's making 400,000 a month here. If you want to make 2,000 a month, well, it's possible because someone's making $200,000 a month here. Well, what if you want to make $5,000 a month? Well, it's possible because someone's making $50,000 a month here. What if you want to make $50,000 a month? Well, it's possible because someone's making, you know, $150,000 a month here. So see, the income is up to you, and it's really about if all you need is an extra $500 a month, we have got a product and a system for you and you can change lives with it. And if the $500 a month is your need, hey, we value that. And if it's $2,000 that you need, we value you and we value that. So we're not telling you we're all about to go get rich and everybody's about to be a multimillionaire. I'm just trying to tell you without showing you an entire compensation plan that there are incredible market share dollars to be captured here if you're willing to go to work, because this is not a free lunch. It's not get rich quick. It's not some scheme. It's a work program, and it's called direct sales. And we just happen to have, we believe, the most profound regenerative health technology of our lifetimes on our hand that we can get into the marketplace with an incredible pay structure, an incredible system, an incredible leadership. So really, you've seen why this is for you, and you've already read through it. And so we've got the product. We're in a league of our own. You're going to have the support. We've got the systems. And you just got to ask yourself now, what kind of freedom do I want in life? And if you need some extra freedoms in your life, you, as an adult, you get to choose this. You get to decide if you need time freedom, or if you need debt freedom, or you need more freedom to travel, or you need freedom from lack, or freedom from want, or freedom from worry, or freedom from a boss. You know, you're the one that decides that. But think about the freedoms that you want in life and know that you can afford those freedoms by building an extra financial base or an extra financial stream that can help you buy back that time or purchase that freedom that you need through your work ethic and through you changing lives with something profound and adding value to other people's lives. So I'm going to close it right there and ask you to, hey, get back with the person who got you on here and ask how you can be a part of something special. Get on these X39 patches tonight. They're going to change your life if you're patient and you wear this for at least 90 days minimum.